We turn now to the extreme weather with 175 million Americans under threat of brutal heat and dangerous storms. A possible tornado touchdown in New Hampshire, where there are reports of scattered damage. Meanwhile, the unrelenting record heat dome has expanded into the Northeast. CBS's Roxana Saberi reports on the volatile weather.
The tornado.
Nuh-uh. This video captured the rare moment a reported tornado spun through Keene, New Hampshire, part of a pattern of volatile weather covering a large section of the Northeast. Farther south, the excessive heat is now baking New York City. Highs here hit 94 today, but that didn't stop tourists like the Dormans from visiting Times Square.
So what were your plans in New York, and has the heat affected them at all?
No.
Either way, hot everywhere.
The EPA says urban heat islands like the concrete jungle of New York can get up to 7 degrees hotter than surrounding areas.
But this is not our first heat wave, and with climate change accelerating, it won't be our last.
Across the country, heat alerts are in effect for 35 states and Washington, D.C. Scott McFarlane is there.
Here in the nation's capital, the temperature could hit 100 degrees for the first time in 7 years. At the peak of sightseeing and tourism season, the city has ordered splash parks and cooling centers open, and they've also ordered pet owners not to leave their animals outside unattended. At the White House, President Biden talked about the extreme heat.
We should be protecting workers from hazardous conditions, and we will. And those states where they do not, I'm going to be calling them out.
In Philadelphia, where it feels like 103 degrees, hospitals are bracing for an influx of people suffering from heat illnesses.
I don't care if it's the hottest day of the year, we bring it on.
Back here in New York, the city says green spaces like this one in Central Park are significantly cooler than elsewhere in town. The city has opened around 500 cooling centers and extended public pool hours, and it's asking people to conserve energy when they can in an effort to avoid power outages. JB?
Roxana Saberi in New York City. Thank you, Roxana.